At ease, brothers. At ease, brothers. Man, I swear on everything, man. When I be at the house by myself, man, I be cracking myself up, man. I pretty much be crying, laughing all day, just talking to my dang self, bro. Anyway, it's Friday evening, man. I know y'all ready getting this weekend started, bro. I just want to talk about something, man. And this is one thing you have to understand. And let me say this first. Let me state my position first. Like, my position is I love seeing men and women in relationships. I love seeing healthy families. I love seeing marriage, whatever that word means to you. I love seeing children come from that and people living happily ever after. That is my position. No soul is not going back to the red pill days. No soul is not angry at women. Soul still believes in harmony and love and fulfillment and happiness and the whole shebang, right? So, having said that, I want to say this, brothers. One thing you have to understand, man, and do what you will with this information. One thing you have to understand is that the man that a woman craves to smash and the man that a woman desires to marry are two different people. They're two different people. Not saying that that man can't be the same person and transition to the other, but I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe that any man can maintain that, dual roles. And I'll go deeper into it, right? Now, does that say, let me say this, am I saying that every single woman is cheating? No, I'm not even going down that avenue. But what I'm saying is, I would say 99% of relationships, going back to what I said, the man that a woman craves to smash and the man that a woman desires to marry, they're two different people. They're two different people, man. And I'm going to tell you when I came up with this, right? I want to say it was around 2018-ish, maybe 17. And I'm basing that on me. I know I wasn't living here. I was living around the corner in this apartment, right? And I can remember one of my partners that I served with, back when I was at Fort Sill, was passing through, man. We caught each other on Facebook. Boom, he was passing through. He pulled up on me, man. We chopped for a second. And at this time, I remember he didn't even come in the house, bro. I remember I went outside and he was a heavy smoker. So he was smoking the whole time, right? And I remember our conversation, he was telling me that him and his old lady had went separate ways. He told me how they met, man. They met at the club back when he was in the military. They were with each other all this time. And, just vibing. End up trying to make things serious. And once they got serious, the brother got engaged. And long before he knew it, man, he said, man, it just went to hell, right? Right? Common story. We hear it all the time, right? And I can remember hearing that conversation with him. And I can remember taking that information and applying it to a situation that I had maybe a year or two before that, where I met a young lady, man, a young lady that I'd known all my life. Her and I connected and started kind of just loosely dating for time and vibe, man. Doing big things, traveling, and just having fun, parties and the whole shebang. And a point in time came where she was like, hey, you know what? Like, let's take this to the next level. And we took it to the next level. And the moment we took it to the next level, things started to slowly change, right? Sound familiar? You know what I'm saying? And in a short amount of time, or I'll say about a year, not even a year, that whole relationship just went south, right? And I won't go into the details about what happened, right? But at that point in time, man, is when I told myself, and I can remember when my bro left, I went inside and made a video. And I don't know if that video's still up. If I can find that video, I'll leave a link, man. But what I was essentially saying was, I was just in deep thought, man. I said, you know what, man, when you really think about it, I said a woman has to almost lose desire for a man once they get married. Right? I said a woman, I said, because when you think about all and I'm talking about instinct now, I'm talking about the deepest level of a woman. When you think about all the things that a woman craves about a man, just naturally, his, just the independence, the freedom, his ability to just move as a man. Once a man ties the knot, especially if a man gets legally married, like you can look at this in so many different ways, right? But a man pretty much relinquishes his power to a woman, right? In a sense. In other words, a man is saying, okay, you know what? I've done all these things. I've worked all this amount. I have this much freedom to kind of come and go and do what I want. On a low, man, a woman pretty much has a light leash on a man when he's married. And again, I'm not sitting there saying don't get married. I'm not saying marriage is a bad thing. I'm just talking about on the internally, mentally, what's really taking place. A man has to relinquish a certain amount of power to even go down that path, right? And I was thinking about that, man, and I made a whole video. I said, man, I think she almost has to lose something for a man that loves her so much that he's willing to give that up. Now, at that time, I wasn't saying she's moving something else. All I was saying is she has to lose something, right? But when I think about it, when you think about what she craves sexually, which is pretty much what that man used to be before he goes down that path, it's completely different than what a man has to be a husband. Because you got to understand this. And again, I might be all over the place, brothers. You got to understand this, man. Like when you're let me just say it like this. Because I want to describe the two frequencies, right? I just want to get down to the nuts and bolts of what I'm talking about. You have to understand that when you meet a woman, y'all first meet, y'all kicking it, y'all vibing, y'all going out for drinks, y'all partying, y'all taking little mini vacations, y'all are sexing like crazy. It's a certain frequency. But once it starts getting to a certain level, and now she's like, hey, you know what? I think I want to be your wife. For you to be a husband, you have to be a completely different man to her and for her to be that. Like now you start factoring in accountability and more responsibility and things like mortgage and taxes and bills and long-term thinking come into play. And I'm saying those are good things. A woman craves that responsibility in a man. Like that's her security. When a man moves like that, she's saying, you know what? That man is secure. That man is going to make sure that if I live to be 99 years old, I'm going to be good. And security outranks anything. So of course she loves this man. But once a man moves into that energy, that sexual desire changes for a woman, right? First off, let me say this, man. Like, and this is no surprise, right? Like you have to understand that on sexually, like we can sit here and act like it ain't what it is, or women can roam around the world and present themselves like Mother Teresa, as they should in some situations, right? In certain environments. But when every woman gets in that bedroom, bro, she wants to be, and I'm trying to say this she wants to be in her extreme dark energy. Let me say it like that. She wants to be in 304 energy. This is not saying she's a bad woman. This is saying she wants to experience that to her fullness. And a lot of times when men get married or goes down, like a lot of men won't allow women to exercise that freedom, exercise having that experience in that dark energy. And even when men of understand that, hey, you know what? When we out in public, we the freaking Huxtables. But in that bedroom, we 50 Shades. Even if a man understands that and that's still the play being called, you have to understand that even when you're sprinkling that accountability and responsibility and, hey, this is how we got to move. These are the decisions that got to be made. This is what I need out of you. This is how. Once you start factoring all that into a woman's life, again, not all women, it changes the dynamic. So a woman, even though she desires that security, she'll never leave it. Now she's desiring something else. Now she's desiring that version of you that you used to be when y'all first met. That version where y'all could just both fly into one city, hook up, and not talk about no responsibility. It ain't no mortgages. It ain't no 401ks. It ain't no kids. It's just me, you, and our raw nature. Our raw nature. Like you have to understand, for example, like men, when it comes to a woman we see as a wife and a woman we see as an extreme sexual partner, I won't say always, but it can be that same person. Like for us, it can be that same person. A woman that's fine, sexy, cute, sensual, and smart, talented. That can be the same woman. But for men, but for women, it's I don't believe it can always be the same guy. Even if it's a man transitioning, saying, okay, when we met up, I was sneaky link or whatever it is, or we kind of just had a fling and it got serious. We got in the middle. Now I'm going toward this husband. He could maintain that for a little bit, but at some point in time, again, when that responsibility gets sprinkled in, it just changes the dynamic. It changes the dynamic because you got to understand. And I had this before I even made this video. I had this conversation with a woman, and I said the exact same thing. I said, you know what? I said the man a woman craves as a husband and as a sexual partner that she craves sexually are two different people. And I broke it down a certain way, and she said, yeah, like there's a lot of truth to that. Like there's a lot of truth to that. So I'm saying this, brothers, just so that you understand. I'm not sitting there saying don't get married. I'm not sitting here saying don't do a certain thing. I'm just saying be aware. I'm just saying be aware. What I'm saying is the most a man can do is attempt to keep so many of the elements that when they first met, back when there was no responsibility, back when she could just be her own. Like you have to make an attempt to keep all of that, keep some of those elements in your relationship once you go to the other side. Is it gonna work? I don't know. And a part of me also thinks, man, because I asked myself, why is it like that? And I don't know if it's just like some modern day theme because, I don't know if it's I would definitely say this. I would definitely say that our grandmothers might have had the same situation going on. I don't know. Like did the women before this era have this same situation? Or was it easier to keep that man being the same because back then our grandmothers they wasn't working, they wasn't off in the workforce, they were strictly in a certain energy and men were in a certain energy. So maybe it was different back then. Again, when it gets to this part, I'm still trying to figure this part of it out, right? But I do know this. I do know in today's age with the internet, I heard this old lady, I don't want to say, let me take that back. I heard this elderly lady, man. She was a senior lady, right? And she was like, y'all young men, y'all might have seen this. She was like, y'all young men, she was talking to a group of men. She said, y'all young men don't have a chance. Y'all young men don't have a chance against this internet. She said, if you're a man and you got this woman and you trying to make sure your woman is good and you trying to go and build a career and build a life and make sure she said you can't win at that game. She said there is no amount of attention and or she said a few words that you can give that woman that's going to be more than what she can get in the free world. She said y'all don't have a chance. But I do believe that there is a caliber of woman that is immune to that. And again, I think it is a 1% woman, right? And I won't talk about that. I might say that for a different video about what type of woman is immune to that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up to y'all brothers, man. Like you have to understand, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your situation. I want you to look at your situation, man, and analyze, like, if y'all started off as whatever and y'all got serious and got married or whatever. Ask yourself, were there elements of her that changed? Like, did she change in public? Did she? And I'm gonna tell you what, another point of why I came up with this, man. I came up with this based on really, I've been on both sides of it. I've been on both sides of the fence. Like I had my season of, and I won't really say F-boy season, but I had my season where I was moving in a different energy. And I'm not saying bad or low vibrational, but there was a season of my life where I'm just kind of moving through, and it's like, I'm not trying to be serious with nobody. I'm just kind of focusing on what I'm doing. But if I see you and I'm attracted, I'm attracted. The fact that I'm not looking for a relationship has nothing to do with me being attracted to you and may even want to hook up with you. And during that season, or I'll say those seasons of my life, I would encounter women. I would encounter women that were in a dating stage, that were seriously dating. I would never mess with anybody that was engaged, or definitely not and mess with a woman that was married. But I've entertained women before that you can get on their social media page and they booed up, they vacationed up, they're making all the plans of moving forward, and at the same time, she's one text away from, hey, won't you fly in this weekend, or won't you pull up this weekend, or meet me at the restaurant type spot. Like, that's common. That's common. So I've seen women that have solid men that would never leave their men. That since I was moving in a certain vibration, that put no pressure on them. Like, you can come over here, you can drink your drink. I ain't gonna sit there and say you don't need to do XYZ. You can smoke your kill. You can be a certain type woman. Like, you can wild out. It's just me and you. I'm gonna let you be in that raw state, and I'm gonna be in mine. There's a freedom that a woman has when she's in that scenario compared to the opposite scenario. Is it right? Is it wrong? Of course, it's not right for a woman to step out. I'm just speaking to the nature of a lot of women and what I've seen in life, brother. So yeah, I've been on that side and I've been on the other side. And I've taken all this data, man, and I'm just coming to the conclusion, the hell I don't know. The hell I don't know if like where's the violation at? Like are we violating our human nature by even talking about a woman being committed or people being committed, period? Like, it gets to the conversation then, like, is monogamy real? Or are we really going against? So that's when the conversation kind of just starts to spray out, and I'm still working on it, right? But I just wanted to share that with y'all, brothers, man. You have to understand, man, that in 99% of situations, the man that she wants to smash and the man that she desires to marry are two different brothers.